Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, we're doing an oil change in a Toyota Prius C. This is a 2016, but it's also compatible for these years right here. So let's go ahead, get started, and let me show you guys some of the products you're gonna have to pick up, and everything is on Amazon. All right, so the oil we're gonna be using is 0W20, and we're gonna be rolling with Valvoline. So to do this, you're obviously gonna need your oil filter, which you can pick this up on Amazon. It's the official Toyota Lexus part, and the oil filter removal tool, and then obviously some crush washers. These are super cheap. But there's gonna be links in the description down below for all these parts, but also the oil drain pan as well. And this one's pretty convenient too, because you can drain it into the pan and then you can still have it sealed. Take that to like the auto store and they can just dump out the old oil for you. But let's go ahead and get started with this process. All right, so first up, we're gonna have to remove this little panel right here. It's this kind of weird shaped one, and there's 4 10mm screws on it. So we're gonna go ahead and just pop these off. All right, so now we went ahead and got all those bolts out. We're just gonna go ahead and remove the panel and set it aside. And immediately right here, you can see the oil drain plug. So what we're gonna do is, and like actually right here is the oil filter. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the different sockets so we can go ahead and get that off. But before we do that, let's go ahead and set up the drain pan and everything. All right, so before we pull off the oil drain plug, we're gonna go ahead and go up here and we're gonna remove the oil cap right there so that whenever we take the drain plug off, the air can flow right through. All right, so now that we have the oil filter pan ready to go, we're gonna go ahead and go up here and unbolt this drain plug. And it's usually pretty firm, so you might need just to use strength or maybe a little rubber mallet. All right, so now that we have that loose, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of undo it with my hands just so I don't get oil all over the tools. Let's go ahead and just unscrew that. And make sure you have the pan ready because it's gonna start dumping out. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and let that just continue to pour out, and then once it's done, we're gonna go ahead and put the new crush washer on, and then we're gonna go ahead and remove the oil filter. All right, so if you guys are pulling off the drain plug right here and you don't see the crush washer, make sure you check right here, because sometimes like this one is actually stuck on there. So then I'll probably have to maybe use a little flathead screwdriver, pop that off. But then make sure you grab the new one before you put it back on and go ahead and stick that on there. All right, so now that the oil is pretty much barely dripping right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of wipe off the surrounding areas, clean up as much of that oil as I can, and then go ahead and put the drain plug back in place. I'm just gonna hand tighten it for now, and then once it's tight, I'm gonna go back through with the rag and clean up all the extra oil that's just kind of around the area. And now we can go ahead and just tighten it down with the wrench. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do the oil filter. So you're gonna need this oil filter removal tool, which like I said, I do have a link for that, and these extensions as well down in the description down below. And we're gonna go ahead and go right up into here. It's a little black cylinder. And once you hook onto it, we're gonna go ahead and just unscrew it. And make sure you have your drip pan handy, because it will probably start dumping oil once you start pulling it off. All right, so now that we have that loose, I'm just gonna go ahead and lower this out and reach up there and unscrew the rest of it by hand. And probably should have put gloves back on, but oh well, my hand's already covered in oil. And here it comes. There we go. All right, so now before we screw the new one on, we're gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of oil in it. So we're just gonna go ahead and carefully pour some of that right in. And you don't wanna fill it all the way up, but try to get like a decent amount in there. All right, so now that I went ahead and put a little bit of oil in the new filter, we're just gonna go ahead, raise it right up into place, and just screw it in by hand as much as you can first. All right, so now it's kind of screwed in by hand. You can go in with the wrench, and make sure you don't over tighten it. Just make sure it's like decently snug. All right, so now I got the oil filter done and the drain plug. Let's go ahead and go around to the top side and pour in the new oil. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and pour in the oil. We're gonna go ahead and put in 4.5 quarts, actually a little bit less than 4.5 quarts. But I would say put in 4 to start with, and then check the dipstick just to make sure that everything looks good, and then add a little bit more as needed. All right, so once you fill up the oil, you're gonna check the dipstick, make sure everything looks good, which we have, and now we're gonna go ahead and put the cap on, and we are done. All right, guys, so I really hope this video helped you guys out, and if it did, definitely put down in the comments down below. Let me know. Also, if you have any other questions or concerns, definitely drop them down there. There's gonna be links to all the products in the description down below, so you guys can go check it out, pick up like everything on Amazon. It can come straight to your house super quick and easy. But if you guys did like the video, go down, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. But as always, thank you for watching.